hoping that the Honda motor that he has, which I believe is a 1.8 liter motor, a little bit more torque than the 1.8 in the Mazda of Cahall, hoping that he could basically just dig out and open up a gap, and he was able to do that on the start. We'll see what happens.
If he gets to that restart zone when that happens.
Yep. So he is now on the front straight, and I think he's going to keep it slow until the green flag comes out, and he does. And once again, Graham Fuller is going to make things difficult for Ted Cahall as they now run down into turn one. And that could be the worst thing that would happen for Ted Cahall, Brian, is if that GT Light car comes across his nose, it's going to make things so much easier for Thomas Beverly. As they go down into turn one, Beverly with about 2 car lengths now into the corner. Cahall is able to hold off the Toyota Tercel, and then back behind them, and not that far back, it is Michael Unger with Steve Hunt in that yellow Mazda Miata. He is currently running a third in STL, but he's got to get around that Honda S2000. That's going to be kind of difficult there. That E-production car, quite a bit more power than the Mazda Miata.
Well, as we were talking about it early on, you see a big group going through there. Spencer and I were talking about it. Sometimes it could be an advantage or a disadvantage where you are. Mike Kelley had a big lead over Jack Bana in that number 7 machine.
Right.
Now, Eric Benazik is right on the back bumper of Mike Kelley as they go down through into turn 5 and headed through there. Mike Kelley getting stuck in some traffic, so Eric Benazik right on the back bumper there.
Yeah, let's stay on this shot for a moment here, Spencer, as we can. Right behind the Scion. There we go with Benazik. That is the black number 1 machine with a couple cars to get through to get up to Mike Kelley.
Yeah, he's pulled away a little bit, but Jack Bana now is going to be under heavy fire from Eric Benazik. So we'll have to see what's going on. And it looks like we got one car pulling right well over to driver's left here.
And that I believe
that's one of the Cahall.
I think that's
Robert Cahall.
Yeah, Bob Cahall in the 178 machine pulls all the way over driver's right. And a number of drivers are going to race by, so he looks to be a little bit off the pace. But now he moves over center of track, Brian, really creating an issue for some of our H production racers as they go down in the one. Jack Bana had to take evasive maneuvers as the 178 machine came right back offline.
Yeah, it looks like
back online. Pardon
I was going to say came back online. Sound like I'm talking about Murphy Nichols again. Came back online. Everything went blank and got back in, but you're right. Now that car seemed to it. But Eric Benazik had to go around the 178, center of the racetrack, and then cut in front of Jennifer Romes, because she was making the pass on the 178. So again, kind of a lot of back and forth at the start of this race.
All right, and hey, Brian, so here's a neat battle going on. So far this weekend, Drew Erie has had the measure of many-time GTP Mars champion Bruce Shelton. They are now coming into the carousel, and for the first time this weekend, we see Shelton with the lead in GT Pinto, and Drew Erie now having to deal with some faster cars behind him, creating a couple cars. We have somebody, I think that was Jennifer Romes, running a little wide through turn 8. She gets the car back on track and continues, doesn't lose much speed.
Yeah, saw Bruce Shelton changing, I think, the carburetor on that Pinto last night. I was coming back from dinner, walking back over to the motorhome, and he was sitting there changing some stuff. So
the car can breathe now, huh?
Knew there was a problem yesterday.
Yeah, and so now there are two cars between the two Pintos, and Shelton's got a little bit of clearance there. So far, it's been a great weekend for Drew Erie. Got a race win on his anniversary there, so great job for him as they come down into turn 1 now.
Bruce said, I haven't won yet this weekend. I'm changing the carburetor, changing everything.
Changing the zip ties that hold that car together, everything.
I mean, it is kind of a gaggle right there, led by Bruce Shelton, and then you got to go back. You've got Troy McBain in that 71 machine, then Drew Erie, and then you've got the other Benazik along with Al Stein back in there too. So again, a lot of action after this restart. Again, with just about 9.5 minutes left, with 9 laps. So I don't think we're definitely gonna count down on remaining of time. But again, as we all know, you race to the flag.
Right.
Whether it's as I know very, very well,
That's
you
right.
race to the flag. So we'll have to, again.
And look at this, Brian, coming through turn 6, still at speed, still nose to tail. Tristan Herbert and Meyer Alzat, much like yesterday, that's the battle for 8th position right now. in H production as we watch now this battle for the lead in H production. Brian, coming down into turn one, they've got a Legends car just ahead of him, but that is Mike Kelley in the Volkswagen Golf. He's run the won 2 out of 3 races so far. Rick Benazik, a podium winner at the runoffs many times in the Honda Civic, as they head down into turn one. Let's see what happens as they come out from behind the trees. Benazik now moving to the inside as they clear that Legends car, and Rick Benazik, I believe, taking over the lead in H production.
Great move by Mike Collier to get completely out of the way of that H production battle there. Saw them coming up on him going down into turn one and turn two. Stayed far driver left as he can, not only on exit, but stayed up the line, didn't move back into the center of the racetrack so that they could go and battle there. And it looks like Benazik is going to get ahead of Mike Kelley as they went through turn 3 and up. We'll see whether or not they can hold on to it right there. Here they come out of turn 5.
The lead 2 cars, yep.
It's less than a car length between those two.
Yeah, and Jack Bana starting to close things down a little bit. He's having to contend with that same Legends car of Collier. There's one more car ahead of him, but he now, as both Kelley and Benazik start battling the group of cars behind, closing up ground. That last lap, Benazik ran his fastest lap of the race. Bana ran his fastest lap of the race. Bana actually about 3/10 faster than either Kelley or Benazik.
Bana getting a pull from the Jenkins on the 195 machine. Mike Kelley going all the way over to driver's right, headed down into turn 1, along with Rick Benazik. So Mike trying to use that draft from that Golf.
And we see them coming through turn 1 right now. And it was Benazik made his one move. We saw Kelley move driver's right. Benazik followed him. When Benazik moved back over to driver's left, Kelley moved over as well. And now they're side by side into 3. And that Honda Civic, with a little bit more speed through the corner from the outside, is able to come right across the nose of the Volkswagen. Now the Volkswagen, a 1.8 liter motor, and a big difference here, Brian, is we got a wheel dropped into the dirt by Rick Benazik. We'll have to see if he's able to hold on as they come into turn 6. Is there one car or is there 2? And
there is 2.
There is 2, and it is still Benazik in the lead. So Brian, I was talking to Roger Troxel about this. Big difference in H production. Almost every H production car has a maximum wheel width of 6 inches. With the exception of the 1.8 liter Golfs, they run a 7-inch wide front tire. And so much more grip, much more contact patch than any other car, but Kelley not able to take advantage of it right now.
Just got the call in. There was some contact between those two going down into 5 that we saw on the camera. So both of them continued, no position change. Mike got out of it, let him go back in front. So again, down in the right. So this H production battle, this is going on all the way through the rest of this race.
All right, so we've got now a little bit less than 6 minutes remaining here on the clock, or 6 laps. So this is definitely going to end on time as they make the run out of turn 1 going into turn 2. And Brian, as I've been watching here, as Kelley moves over driver's left and Benazik moves back over, Kelley just follows him.
And Greg, we've got a standing yellow down in turn 2. That is the 182 of Ted Cahall, just off our camera, just to the left. So right next to the flag stand right there has pulled off. So again, that battle in H production and all battles, that's going to be tough to get, tough to get through there.
Right. And so if that's the 182, and we'll see if he continues on. We see him very slowly coming towards us in the grass right along the tire wall on the left-hand side of your screen. He was running 2nd overall, Brian. That is now going to move Steve Hunt, who's running 6th overall, up to 2nd in STL.
Right. Yeah, so it looks like he did make that crossover in there, so he's going to come through the back way.
And we're getting word that the number 9 machine, that's Bob Connor in his Legends car, off track right now.
Has had all kinds of problems this weekend, so.
Now we're trying to get what corner made the call. And it's driver's right on the outside of turn 5, probably just past our turn 5 camera.
Just outside between our carousel and that, they're trying to figure out where they need to put him. trying to get the word now whether or not they need to have it moved. He's off driver's right, so I would assume he's in the grass right outside our camera shot between that and the carousel. So hopefully he is outside enough that we can go ahead and finish this race.
And it sounds like they're probably going to leave him where he is. It sounds like he actually managed to get the car towards the turn 7 flag station. Brian, now big changes in H production, not for the lead, but coming through turn 3 right now. Chuck Allard, who had fallen back after that big off at turn 10, he managed to get around both Tristan Herbert as well as Meyer Alzot. So Herbert had been running 7th and Alzot 8th. Now Chuck Allard is 7th, move Herbert back to 8th, and Alzot back to 9th.
Here comes our H production battle, Greg. Mike Kelley come down the front stretch. I tell you what, pulled out driver's right. Looks like he's going to try to make that stint over Eric Benazik going down into turn 1. We'll see whether or not there is a crossover going on here.
All right, as they come under braking for the moment now, Mike Kelley jumps to the lead, but Benazik, good amount of speed coming around the outside. We've talked about how much grip there is there, and Benazik's able to carry a little bit more speed, I think, through the outside, and into turn 3 side by side.
As you watch here in your camera coming up, they're still side by side. Mike Kelley going to use that move on the outside of turn 3 to propel himself ahead of the one machine of Rick Benazik. They head down into turn 5 right now. Again, they dropped that yellow there, so that is still not a thing. A lot of brake lock up there by Jack Bana. So.
All right, so here they come through the carousel, and we have now, you can see it there, just a little bit over 2 minutes remaining on the clock. So essentially, it all, of course, depends on where our overall leader right now, Thomas Beverly, is, but we would anticipate this lap and one more lap for our racers.
Yeah, we're waiting. They're trying to get the call down there to turn. It looks like trying to figure out where that leader is. The leader is now going through turn 3, headed up. And Greg, I got to tell you, with Thomas Beverly, there he goes up in through turn 3. Graham Fuller is catching him for this overall. I guess Graham really wants to get that $50 from Devil's Distillery. That's
right, because in addition to their trophies, the overall winner in this group, Brian, is going to receive a $50 voucher from Devil's Due Distillery in Carneysville, West Virginia, just located about 15 minutes here from Summit Point. Devil's Due Distillery, it's the makers of fine bourbon, whiskey, and other distilled spirits since 2021. That was a great segue.
Maybe Graham has had a few drinks from there. I got to get that $50.
He lives here. Well, he lives 15 minutes away, right in Summit Point, West Virginia.
Yep.
All right, here comes our leader, Thomas Beverly, coming up the hill out of 8 and into turn number 10. He's the first car in the line there, and you said it, our reigning national champion in GT Light, Graham Fuller, definitely making up some ground as they come across the line, starting what we believe now is the very last lap, as we've got under 1 minute on the clock. So they actually got pretty close to the full 20 laps. Brian, looks like this is going to end at 19.
Yeah.
But great battle so far now as they come through. And they're coming up right on that H production battle that we've been watching all weekend between Alzot and Tristan Herbert here. Those two drivers pull all the way over driver's right. Let's see if they go to take the apex. They do. You see Tristan Herbert trying to get the draft off the Honda Civic, and that might make things a little bit more difficult for Graham Fuller. Remember, that is not for a battle in class, however.
That's just for that $50.
Yeah, exactly.
$50 voucher.
Exactly.
So, yeah, no, absolutely. That is definitely going to be a battle there, you know, as we've talked about with Meyer Alzot, Tristan Herbert, but, you know, the overall battle with, you know, Graham Fuller and Thomas Beverly. Thomas Beverly getting a little bit loose over there. Let's see if we can't pick up where that H production battle is right now. They may be, well, they're all the way up into turn 3. They're probably headed down into turn 5 right now. So, because I see Jack Bana just now coming up into turn 3. So we'll have to see.
And I was looking a little bit further back. We were talking earlier about the battle between the Fit of Troy McBain and the Scirocco of Syme. Syme got back around McBain and is holding him off for the time being.
A lap too soon.
Oh, my gosh.
Did not finish this race. I'm not sure if he got confused, but he pitted. So give Beverly that
the overall win.
But let's see if we can't pick up where that H production battle is with Kelley and Benazik. I think they're last time I saw them, they were kind of going up through 3.
Yeah, we'll try and get him here. Finishing second overall, taking the win in E-Production is going to be Michael Unger. Jeremy Butts will take the win in Touring 4. And here comes the battle in H-Production. Coming out of turn 10 and to the line, it is going to be Michael Kelley. Mike Kelley takes the win. He wins 3 out of 4 races this weekend. Rick Benazik will finish in second in H-Production. All right, let's follow here a little bit further back in the pack. I'm trying to pick up another good race that maybe hasn't crossed the line yet. By the way, Kelley and Benazik worked themselves up to 6th and 7th overall in such a huge small bore field for an H-Production car to work up that high. Oh, my gosh. All right, coming out of turn 10 now. This is that battle for 4th in H-Production as Al Syme passes Troy McBain, got around Troy McBain. So Al Syme will finish 4th. Didn't catch him coming across the line, but Jack Bana finishes with the bronze. He will finish 3rd in H-Production. Matt Benazik will finish 6th in H-Production behind McBain, then Chuck Allard in 7th. Tristan Herbert and Meyer Alzat will finish 8th and 9th, with Ryan Moran finishing in 10th. Let's go and we'll break down some of these other classes for you. In SPU, Jim Karamanis only completes 11 laps. We saw him go back out, but unfortunately still lost a few there. Michael Unger, again, 2nd overall, our sole racer in E-Production. In Touring 4, Jeremy Butts gets the win, and I'll tell you, here, Brian, Owen Sheffer, after that early off on lap 1, really worked his way back. He finished 13 seconds from Jeremy Butts, but finishes 2nd overall, or 2nd in T4. Jennifer Ohms finishing in 3rd. Alex Cumming, unfortunately, in his Mazda RX-8, only completing 2 laps today. In Legends cars, Mike Collier takes the win. As we know, Bob Connor retires 5 laps early. And then in GT Pinto, there you go, Bruce Shelton getting the win over Drew Erie. But Drew Erie made up a lot of ground on the last lap, Brian, only a half second separating them. They both ran their fastest laps on the final lap of the race. Drew Erie, 4/10 faster than Bruce Shelton on that last lap. With David Mapes coming in 3rd in GT Light, with Graham Fuller retiring a lap early, not getting to the checkered flag. Greg Hotz in his Toyota MR2 gets the win in GT Light. Of course, John Watts, our sole racer in Spec RX-7. And now let's move over quickly to STL. Tom Beverly, your winner, and your overall winner. Steve Hunt, 2nd. John Jenkins, you're in a pretty quiet race, but John Jenkins finishes in 3rd. Robert Cahall, Bob Cahall, comes home 4th in STL. Kevin Conlon finishes in 5th out of, I believe it was a 10-car field. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked what you saw. And if you did, please go ahead and subscribe to the Washington, D.C. region of the SCCA.
Getting closer.
I need one. I need one person.
Subscriber.
We are at 999 subscribers. Again, if we have one person subscribe, we will be donating across 3 people here at the facility $1,100 to the Boys and Girls Club of the Eastern Panhandle. 1,200. Oh, that's right.
I'm doing 100. We're making Janoska do 100. We get to that 1,000. And
there you go. And look at that, 1K subscribers,
there
Brian.
We go. We hit
Thank you so much. All right. So what we're going to do? We're going to take a quick break for lunch, and we will be back. Spencer, can we throw up the schedule there? We are going to